What's up guys, it's James here again, and in today's video I want to talk to you about specifically how to generate a consistent stream of new leads for your Airbnb management business. This is probably one of the most common questions that I get asked by people is, hey, like how do I actually find property owners who want me to manage their properties? Like how do I generate a steady stream of appointments with those people? How do I find them in the first place? How do I make sure that I can always grow my business? Now you're going to want to stick around till the very end of this video. Please also just take a second to just quickly drop a like on the video. Just give this video a quick thumbs up because a video like this it's going to go into detail. We're going to go over a bunch of the core things that you need to grow your business. And so if you appreciate the video, if you like the video, if you get value from the video, I would just really appreciate a quick thumbs up on the video because it just gives me a lot of feedback and it helps out with the YouTube algorithm. So I would really appreciate that. Now, without further ado, I want to just jump right into it and just share about. So there's basically going to be a couple different things that you need, 3 things specifically that you need in order to generate a consistent stream of clients and to be constantly growing your business at your own will. That's the big part here. So we want to have a system that works so that you can grow your business as much as you want to and as much as you can handle. You never want to be limited by your lead flow because ultimately client attraction, lead generation, this is really the biggest lever that you can pull in your business to increase your income, to scale up your income. And so you want to have as much control over that lever as possible. So the first thing that you need to do in order to have as much control as possible over this lever is there's one thing that you absolutely need to establish, which is basically proof of concept of your offer and your messaging. And so what I mean by this, you have to have messaging that really resonates strongly with a property owner, in that when you reach out to people, and I'm going to talk about the methods for that as step number 2, but you need to have a message that people actually care about. And so you want to basically be reaching out to people with a message that is going to actually target specifically what they're interested in, specifically what challenges they have, what needs that they have, what pain points they have, and addresses that and piques some curiosity. So you really want to have a system built out to be able to really pique that curiosity for people and get them interested enough to want to just at least carry on the conversation with you. And so really dialing in that messaging, that specific offer and that messaging, that's one of the most valuable assets to your business is that specific offer and messaging because that's what's really going to resonate with clients and get them to reach back out to you, to carry on the conversation, to want to get on a phone call. And the way to dial that in as much as possible, by the way, is to just make sure that you really understand exactly what your client's challenges and pain points are and get a lot of clarity on your end of exactly what you do to solve them. And then when you're reaching out to clients, you want to talk about those solutions. You want to talk about what you help property owners to achieve, what solutions you offer. You don't really necessarily want to talk about the features of your offer, what you do, how you go into it, but you want to paint them a picture of what life is going to be like when you're managing the property for them. The only way to do this is, again, just to really listen to your customers and understand that every single interaction you have with your clients, whether that's in initial market research, whether that's when you're doing lead generation, whether that's when you're meeting with your property owners, whether that's when you are when you're actually carrying on a relationship with the properties that you do have under management, all of that is data. All of those points of contact are data points that you can gather to help give you more information about what's actually important to your property owners, what they care about, what problems they want solved. And so you want to have a method for really tracking that, recording that information, because it's really valuable and will help you to constantly just refine your processes and refine that messaging in that offer. And so once you've got that dialed in, that's really step number 1. You've got your messaging dialed in here, and now you've got it really, honed in so that customers care about that. Like they want to reach back out to you. Now it's just a matter of how do we actually where do we go to find a bunch of our ideal clients to reach out to them with this, really well honed in messaging. And so what you really want to do, what I recommend to people is to go where your customers are. Too many people get caught up in trying to have their customers come to them, whether that's through SEO, whether that's through paid advertising. And honestly, the best thing that you can do, especially when you're first starting out, is to figure out where your clients are and go to them. because that's going to be, number one, it's going to be a lot cheaper than trying to get them to come to you. And number two, it's going to be a lot faster. You have a lot more control over that as well, because it's a lever that you can directly pull. You don't have to wait and rely on inbound leads to come into your system. And so you want to basically mix, that's always been the beauty of outbound, right? Is that you have full control over it. Now, the beauty of inbound is that you obviously have authority. The person's coming to you. There's a more of a need if someone's coming to you than if you're going to them. But we've got a system developed where we can get the best of both worlds, where we can have the power and the control of going and using an outbound strategy where we can dictate how many leads we have coming in at any given time, but we also have the authority that we can use from inbound, where we're still a figure of authority. We still have all the control and hold all the cards in those meetings with people. And so what this means, you have to figure out, are your ideal clients on Airbnb? Are they on Booking.com? Are they on VRBO? Or are they hanging out online somewhere else? Maybe it's Facebook, maybe it's Instagram. A number of clients I work with are using a strategy for Facebook that works exceptionally well, and none of them have a lot of leads coming in through Instagram. And then a whole bunch of other ones as well are using different strategies to reach out to people on Airbnb, VRBO, HomeAway. Maybe your ideal property owner isn't even in short-term rental right now. Maybe they have their properties listed on long-term rental, and so you have to develop a methodology for how do you find people who have their properties listed on, whether it's Craigslist, whether it's Kijiji, whether it's Gumtree, depending on what area of the world you're in, and reach out to them and have them actually reach back out to you. And so those are basically the main actual vehicles that you're going to go through, is whether it's short-term rental platforms, whether it's social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever that might be, whether it's long-term rental platforms, but each one of them is a little bit different. So if you want to learn more about the specifics of how to actually go through step by step, because each one has its own nuances, things you can do and can't do, then I recommend just checking out the free training down below, where I go into that more in depth, and I really go into exact processes and step by step, have all the tools and templates, have all the workflows for how to reach out to these people. Then again, that's linked below in the free training there. That's where we're going to go into more depth, because it's just sort of more detail than I can go into in just a quick 10-15 minute video here. But that's step number two, is having that process for actually finding the people where they are, knowing where your customers hang out, and actually going to them with that message. And then the third step that you need is you need a proven system for setting up these appointments effectively. Probably the biggest time waste that I see people making in their businesses is meeting with people who have no intention of actually buying, meeting with people at the wrong time. And a lot of people think, well, if someone's interested in meeting with me, then I should just meet with them because, maybe 6 months from now, maybe a year from now, they'll turn to a client. Maybe I'll get a referral, maybe this, maybe that. But if you're always thinking that way in your business, then you're going to be meeting with everyone, and you're constantly going to be draining your time into meeting with people who just aren't a good fit, or it might not be the right time for them. And I can't stress enough the value of you really guarding your time, especially with client attraction. You want to make sure that, number one, you're only meeting with the right people. So this means people that are actually a good fit for management. And obviously sometimes it's a little bit tougher to tell. So you're not always going to be able to tell if someone's a good fit right off the bat, but you want to have a system for actually screening and setting up appointments so that you're making sure as best as you can that a person is the right fit. What do I mean by the right fit? I mean someone actually has the pain points that you help to solve. Someone who your offer is actually going to genuinely help, and you're going to be able to add value to them with your offer. Someone who is actually serious about getting these problems solved, right? You don't want tire kickers, someone who has these problems but doesn't really care that much enough to solve them. And someone who actually is ready to make the decision right then and there. And that's where it comes down to not necessarily just the right person, but also the right timing, because everyone's got their own timeline for when they're able to make decisions. And we're not saying to people, hey, I'm not going to meet with you unless you're ready to go ahead right now. We're just more or less saying to them, hey, if you're not ready to move forward right now, then why don't you go ahead and take whatever steps you need, do whatever research you need to, talk things over with the other decision makers, whatever. When we meet together, I want you to make sure that you've thought this through thoroughly and that you have all the different auxiliary components lined up in place so you know what questions to ask me, and you can make sure that, hey, if I'm a good fit, and we're a good fit to work together, if everything lines up for you in terms of the pricing, in terms of the value of the service, if you trust me, if all those stars align, then let's make sure that you're ready to move forward. And that's probably the biggest game changer, is if you have the proper system, the proper scripting for when you're setting up that initial meeting with the property owner, that you're setting them up that way. so that the property owners you meet with are actually ready to move forward on the day that you go by there, as long as those things line up, that gives you a tremendous amount of leverage, because then you can go into that meeting and you know that as long as those things line up, as long as they see value in your offering, as long as it's affordable, it's a reasonable rate that you're charging for it, and as long as they actually trust you to do what you say you're going to do and to actually, that you are a good fit, that everything lines up, that they're going to move forward. And so what that means is that then if they don't move forward, you know that it's for one of those reasons, and you can ask why, and you can potentially fill in some of the holes there, fill in some of those gaps, and actually end up closing the property owner under management, bringing that property on board. Or you can use that as feedback to go, okay, I can see why, maybe this isn't a good fit for you, and I've gathered the data there, and then you can, move forward productively and actually gain from that. But if you just go into a meeting without setting any expectation of actually, making a decision on that day, then what's going to happen is they're going to stick to what's comfortable. They're going to stick to what's normal. And this goes for property management. This goes for any type of services business, virtually any type of sales that you're in. Is a person is going to resort back to what's comfortable more often than not. And so what's going to happen is they're going to go up, give you some smoke screen, like I need to talk to my spouse, or, I need to just think about it, or I need this, or I need that, or I need the other thing. And then what happens is that now you've got a lot of ambiguity. You don't know why they really said no. Maybe it was that they didn't see value. Maybe it was that they didn't trust you. Maybe they really did have to talk to their significant other, their decision maker that's involved. And if that's the case, then why didn't they have that conversation beforehand? Why wasn't that person present at the meeting? There's a number of things they could have done to make sure that conversation was had ahead of time, or that they're prepared to make a decision when you come by. Because what's going to happen now is if they go and they speak with that other decision maker, they only have answers to the questions that they asked you. And so if that other decision maker has additional questions that they don't know the answers to, then you're going to be in this weird limbo position. And so ultimately you want the outcome of your meeting, to every single one of your meetings, to either be that you have that property under management, or you know exactly what the reason is that you didn't, so you can use that as leverage to then go and grow in your business, to improve things, to refine your offer even further. And so if you have those three things lined up, if you have, a really bulletproof messaging, something that really resonates strongly with your customers, if you have a good solid system, step-by-step processes for exactly how to find those ideal clients, pockets of them, and reach out to them and actually generate appointments consistently, and you have a good framework for how do you actually go and make sure those appointments are set up as powerfully as possible so that you're actually going to be closing those people, and you want to be aiming for a 50 to 80% conversion rate in those meetings. Like in this industry, you really want to be meeting with, out of 10 people that you're meeting with, bring on 5 to 8 new properties under management. There's no reason that your conversion rate should be any lower than that. And if you've got all those three things lined up, suddenly you've got a really, really powerful machine. You've got a very valuable set of assets there, because now suddenly you can grow your business and you can scale up your income under your own control. You have full control over that. You've got a mechanism to really grow your business, grow your income when you want to, how you want to. So again, if you want the full breakdown of all this, you want all the templates, you want all the messaging, you want all the scripts, you want the full standard operating procedures, SOPs for all of this, the full breakdown. You walk through step by step everything, make sure it's really simple for you, make sure it's all laid out for you. Then again, just check the link down below to the free training. Depending where you are, it's either going to be a link, or you can just opt in at the bottom of the page there, and you can check out the free training where we're going to dive into more detail. I'm going to go into all of the detail of my business, exactly how I scaled my business to 6 figures, exactly how I was able to grow this business successfully and be able to put processes in place and systems and tools in place to automate and outsource a lot of the day-to-day operations of the business. All that stuff is, again, just linked in the free training below. We're going to walk through that step by step. I'm also going to be handing out free resources for everyone that signs up for that free training. I'm going to be giving everyone a free profitability projection tool, so you can analyze properties in your area and check what the profitability of them is going to look like. And then you can also use that as a tool to show to property owners so that they can see how much potential their property has to earn on Airbnb and short-term rental. So again, if you want access to all that cool stuff, then just click the link down below, or get yourself registered into the free training down below. And we'll be going through all of that with you. I hope that you got value from this. Again, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, then please subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be coming out with new videos twice every single week. We release new videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Just updating everyone about all the tools that you're going to need to really grow your business and really be successful in managing properties on Airbnb and earning a full-time income doing it. Until next time, I'll see you then.